Basement level vibes with another one, straight up blackness. Aye, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, I do it for the love, him not do it for no money. Straight up, him attack, educating everybody. Big up my friends and big up my family. Turn on the radio, catch the vibes, it's integrity. Straight up, Benskop stands for unity. One people, one nation, one destiny. Free up the truth in the air, even the blind can see. The deaf can hear, the dumb can talk, the cripple can walk. Boom. Who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, we have to gather wrong, grab a seat and sit down, pay attention. Education, liberation, we have to stand strong. Benskop upon the radio, lively up the program. Everybody call somebody and let them turn and tune and pon the radio and catch the boom song. We boom it up already, we have to boom it up again. Expose and reveal him. Who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, I do it for the love, him not do it for no money. Straight up, him attack, educating everybody. Big up my friends and big up my family. Turn on the radio, catch the vibes, it's integrity. Straight up, Benskop stands for unity. One people, one nation, one destiny. Free up the truth in the air, even the blind can see. The deaf can hear, the dumb can talk, the cripple can walk. Boom. Who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is.
Yeah, my name is Jacinty Caldata Francis Vietnam, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my ex next to the cop. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data.
Oh, Jesus Christ, if cost of living double, I don't know what happened. A pound of sugar is $300 already. Flour, everything gone up. Everything just raising. You gotta give about $40,000 for buy good ration. You gotta get 3 man now. A weekend man, a monthly man, and a fortnight man.
You could probably, on the maritime area, give Venezuela a channel out to the sea.
Hey fans, it's karaoke and oldies night this and every Thursday at Club Twilight Sideline Dam, Buxton. Dance to the magical songs of yesteryear by popular DJs and Camps Audio. Admission is free. Come out, let's make memories. at Club Twilight, Sideline Dam, Buxton North.
So if I got children, I must suffer them to take what I don't want to eat for myself. That is totally wrong.
What?
And the parents got to stand up.
Rhonda, really thank you for taking time out. I'm not going to let you go now. I know you're a very brave person. You're out there in front of GCOM. We're not seeing a lot of people out there, but give us an update on the protest every week in front of GCOM.
Tuesday we had 8 persons. Faithfully.
One second, Rhonda. I kind of like, honestly, I like that laugh. I'm going to rephrase, I'm going to ask the question again. And
Man, don't make me laugh, man. I tell you.
Rhonda, one second. One second, Rhonda. I'll ask you the question again. Rhonda, can you give us an update on the protest in front of GCOM? All right. Hey, good night. Welcome to Straight Up. My name is Mark Benchop, and we are going to rock and roll for 1 hour. That's it. 1 hour. Let me give you guys some time to share the link. And look, this Rolls Royce, we dealt with it a couple nights back, and it appears that the PPP regime, the guy who has questionable academic credentials, we don't know whether he graduated from which university, whether it's University of Iplot or whatever. But what we do know for certain is that he didn't graduate from the university, from Medgar Evers College, Medgar Evers College out there in Brooklyn. Is it Bedford Avenue, for those of you who know Medgar Evers College? And kudos to those folks at Medgar Evers. Good night to all of you who are watching. I'm a bit late this evening. Sorry about that. I was caught up in a little bit of a WhatsApp exchange in a group. Very healthy discussion about the struggle in Guyana and the importance of standing up and fighting for what is right. And sometimes people think fighting, when you use the term fight, they think it's a physical battle. Stand up and fight for what is yours, meaning that you're not going to sit down and take it. You're going to go through the struggle. You're going to tell the oppressors you're not taking their nonsense, and you are going to fight. Coffee fought, and Damien fought, and all those other guys, our ancestors who were enslaved. They didn't sit down and say, do what you want. They didn't enter into discussions with the oppressors and the enablers and so forth. They fought their way through. And in this life, if you sit down and expect things to come your way just like that, well, you're just going to have to wait another 400 years or whatever. It is not going to come like that. Oppressors do not feel sympathetic towards you or those who are being oppressed and say, you know what, let us no longer oppress the people. You got to stand up and fight. And fighting, you do in all forms. And I want those pacifists, right? They sit on the fence and they want 1 foot here and they try to tickle over there and then they try to tickle on the other side. They try to put cosmetics and stuff so that it can look good. And so they want to paint it up. so that it looks good and they look good. But you do not win in a battle like that. Check out Martin, not just Martin Luther King Jr. Martin Luther King Jr. At some point in time, he believed in nonviolence after he read up on some history of Mahatma Gandhi and so forth. The same Mahatma Gandhi who ran from the struggle in South Africa because he felt that he shouldn't be described, he shouldn't be placed on colored cart. He should be accepted as one of those Caucasian, those uppity folks. So he got upset. And then he went right back to India. And we know the story. We know the story behind that, right? Don't we all? And so some folks, when they want to appease the oppressors, they inject these Martin Luther King quotes about nonviolence and so forth and so on. And but it's guys. I know. I once had a professor there at John Jay College, and she was part of the student movement, the nonviolent student movement. They have different forms of fight, different forms of ensuring that you send a message to the oppressors. And ask guys like the late congressman who said, and you guys let me check in the audience there, the late congressman who said, "Good trouble, good trouble." Sometimes you got to poke the system. That is how you get change, right, Tony Hack? That's exactly how you get change. Ronda Layne. Ronda Layne does that every single day. Ronda Layne doesn't go and get one foot with the oppressors them and drink a little soup and little meat and go back and pro. She is out there. She's constantly banging away the system. And once you do that, it's going to fall apart. It's not going to go fall apart where we put on a nice tie. And thank you so much. A lot of bright people, John Lewis, put on a bow tie, and you go and you fold your legs and you talk and expect changes to come just like that. No, it's not going to come like that. Sorry about that. It's just not going to come like that. And, at times we have some of these folks who are enablers. We see some of them in Brooklyn. Some of them are popping their heads up in New Jersey. And look, let me give you guys a warning about New Jersey. Some enablers are in New Jersey. Some enablers are in New Jersey. We'll talk about that. But if you're in New Jersey and you see some of those enablers and they do business or whatever they do not support them. Story done. They've got to come to their senses. Some people might say, and they're the minority, that, the boycott in Brooklyn is not work. Oh, come on. Even Stevie Wonder can see that it's working. And big up to Stevie Wonder. He was all the way in Ghana. He's now a Ghanaian citizen. Good. Stevie Wonder, right? Even Stevie Wonder can see that the boycott in Brooklyn is effective. It is effective. Don't let them fool you. All right? All right. Sorry about that. I don't know. I just went right off of that because sometimes when we go against the oppressors, there's always these nice ones. They want to appear nice. They don't want to get soiled up, right, Colin Barnwell? They don't want their yachting boots to get messed up, their bow ties and their shirt, right, Vernie Lewis? They don't want anything to get messed up, but they want change. And they think change is going to come about like that, right? I read this book, and it spoke not the themes of African Guyanese history, but it said that, and even in Mandela's books and Mandela's speeches and so forth, he will tell you what it took to stand up and break the apartheid system. It didn't come with no conversation and gaff and sweet talk and blow kisses and so forth. It came with a struggle. It came with a price, a heavy price. Okay, so this book, it dealt with this guy, quote unquote slave. He said every time he go to Massa and he asked Massa for something extra to eat or whatever, Massa chase him, get out of here, get out of here, Terrence. Oh, not Terrence, but they chased him, get out of here. And so one day, Chandel Griffith, guess what happened? One day, Massa left his rifle down. And we're just going to use a name. It's quote unquote slave, not Terrence, but we're going to use the name. Pick the rifle up, and I'm just using that name, not because and nothing about the name. I'm just using that name. And so Terrence picked this rifle up, and before Terrence could say anything, guess what? Massa gave Terrence all that he needed. And he said, take some for your relatives and your friends and everyone. Massa gave him every single thing. Now, I'm not saying that people have to pick up rifles. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not me. I'm not. It's just a book that I read. There was a part in that book that I read, and I'm just sharing it with you. Letitia Rollins, how are you doing? All the way. Good night, Mark. Ithaca have no development. And Ithaca Village, and a lot of you should know, I've been there before. Ithaca Village, it's an area, and those of you who know the history of Ithaca, and then they have places like Arcadia and those places, Victoria. Ithaca is no different. Absolutely no different. Ithaca should be developed, but people turn their blind eyes on the folks over there in Ithaca, and they believe that Ithaca people are not human beings. Just like they believe Little Africa. Let me see if some of you know where Little Africa is. And Little India, if you go there, you swear to God that you're some kind of like the poorest part of India or the poorest part of Africa. And so they divide up the nation. And all of these things happened under the PPP regime. But some of the enablers don't want to talk about that. They don't want to confront the oppressors on these issues. They hide, they skirt around the issues. They find all sorts of things to make it look as though a Ben Sharp or a David Hines or a Kadaki or what the other guys are, that they are basically, that we are basically, we call for violence, and nobody calling for violence. We are a peaceful people. And you know, sometimes when you trouble peaceful people, sometimes they can't take it for too long, right? So you've got to stand up for your rights. John Jones said, Corriverton. Donna Joseph, how are you doing? I'm just looking at some of your comments. Colin, what's going on? Colin Barnwell is saying, that's how you know them folks not serious. And we know that. Colin, give us a rundown as to what's happening. We heard that the boycott in Brooklyn it's increasing, and kudos to those folks. A friend of mine, she sent some pulori, some chicken foot that she made at home. She said she started doing that because she's not going to spend her money at some places there in Brooklyn. And you guys know some places. You go on top of the hills and you look down and you see them there. People know where they're not spending their monies. And they have some of those enablers in New Jersey. I'll let you guys know of some of those enablers in New Jersey. All right, Rosanna, how are you doing? Rosanna Tubin Kingston. Good night to all of you again. Now, look, let's get to, and thank you, guys. Lemon is back on the job. Lemon is back on the job. This is a cartoon in the Guyana Stabroek News. This is a cartoon in the Guyana Stabroek News. And I notice here, Colin Barnwell is saying, boycott working, slow fire, mo fire. Who can't stand the pressure? Run. Well, if they can't stand the pressure, they will definitely have to run indeed. Economic pressure on these folks, regardless of who they are. And there's no sympathy right now. If you're with the oppressors, then stay with the oppressors. You can't be on both sides. So this is the cartoon in the Stabroek News. I believe it's today's Stabroek News. It says alleged rapist in defense. I have to say non-consensual sex is reprehensible and all these sort of, this is the editorial the cartoon in the Stabroek News. But let's get to this cartoon here. Many of these folks who want, and sometimes they give the impression that they want changes in Guyana and all manner of things. You ask some of these people to condemn this cartoon, they're not going to condemn it. They won't do it publicly. Some of them are even afraid to do it privately. What do you guys think of this cartoon? Because Stabroek News argument, and kudos to David Hines and the WPA, they went out and they call a spade, and Ipadaji folks. That's the African organization. But the others are very quiet on this issue. Extremely quiet. Rajan Bim, why do you think they are so quiet about this cartoon? Let me see. I'll read your comments. Why do you guys think they are so quiet? And some of them are African Guyanese. They are afraid to speak up. They're not going to say that this is a racist cartoon. Godfrey Clark, they're just not going to say it, right? Denise Booker, they are not going to say it. So this is what Stabrook News did. Stabrook News said that this is a cartoon, and the cartoonist, who happens to be Paul Harris, who is said to be a PPP, right? And so crime on that big gun. They're arguing that this is not a racist cartoon. And how is it that the WP and IPADG, the African organization, and Dr. David Hines, how is it that they know that this is a black youth? Oh, come on. Why would Stabrook News insult our intelligence? Why would they want to do that? How many of you who are watching this show right now in the comment section see this as a racist cartoon? Let's be honest. Do you see this as a black youth? Or does it look like a Chinese guy, a little boy? Does it look like a East Indian? Let's take a look. Does it look like a little white boy, a Caucasian? Does it look like a Portuguese guy? Come on. I mean, I'm looking at it. Where's my glasses? I'm looking at it. Is it that we are seeing something totally different from Stabrook News? I don't know. Yet Stabrook News is jumping out and saying freedom of expression, and the cartoonist has that right. Of course the cartoonist has that right. But the cartoonist doesn't have a right to insult a particular ethnic group. Do you think he would have been able to do that? Put an Indian boy there. And we're just saying Indian Guyanese. We're just calling it as it is. You know, hair straight, a set of whatever it is, like a shampoo, coconut oil. Rajan, you know the thing, man. You know how we used to put coconut oil or Vaseline and hair straight. We're not seeing that here. So how could this? Look, we get a trench crop. Umesh Jailal is saying, looking like me. No, look, the teeth and face looks like, if you want, it looks like Jack Dale and Irfan, right? Yeah. So that is what, if you want to say it looks like me, yeah, it looks like me. You notice these kind of guys, you know how they pop out of their little hole, their little creases, and then they come with their stupidity. They have no other comment. They can't say anything. Their bumps raise as quickly as possible. And so they come on these sort of shows to distract us. Do not be distracted, guys. You know where he gone, right? Thanks, Lemon. In the trench. And so this, of course, you cannot run away from it. This is a little black boy. This is a little African boy. That's what it is. A little African boy. So don't let Stabrook News fool you guys. I'm glad I'm not on the ground because I wouldn't be buying Stabrook News. I'll read it online because you ain't got to pay for it, and that's it. So what else is going on? What else? All of us agree that this is a racist cartoon, except Stabrook News and the cartoonist by the name of Paul Harris. I don't want to see these kind of things. I'm self-hating guys. But anyways, what else is it that we can talk about, guys? What else it is that we can talk about? Y'all don't worry about that trench crap. He done gone in the trench. Right? All right. What else happening? We spoke about this thieving car that Irfan, they want to steal this car from the Port Morant trade school. Many folks from Port Morant quarantine area, you know this trade school, you know what it's about. But I want the enablers to denounce this here, that Irfan Ali, they're attempting to thief this Rolls Royce, because this is just about only 2 of these cars left in the world. Only 2. And Irfan Ali, they want to thief it. What else is happening that we can talk about? So the Guyana Defense Force, the Chief of Staff, as you can see there now, I don't know how this guy became a Chief of Staff, but they changed it from Chief of Staff and it's now Chief of Defense. Chief of Defense. Yep, Chief of Defense. So, yeah, yep, Chief of Defense. Chief of Defense. I don't know. I need to see some of these guys. Some of these guys should really, really be out there. Former military officers, they should really condemn these things, you know. They should really, really condemn these things. And this is not nice. This is disrespectful. Disrespectful, guys. Disrespectful. But then again, it's the PPP. It's how they do things. What else is happening? Look, last night, this story was brought to my attention yesterday, and it's been over a month, 2 months now or so, and the DPP, the file has been sitting at the DPP's chambers for over a month, going on 2 months now. And guess what? They did absolutely nothing. You're telling me a file can be sitting at the DPP's chambers for 2 and 3 and sometimes 4 months? Something isn't right. And so the DPP has now recommended further investigation into shooting of teenager at workplace. This is a young man who lost his life, shot and killed by a so-called security guard. Shot and killed. And they try to basically fabricate stories behind the circumstances. Now, I've read when the incident happened, the mother and the father. I mean, this was a young man who has had a bright future ahead of him. And his family invested so much in this young man. And then when he got a job, something happened on the job. They fabricated stories about this young man. They shot him and they killed him. And maybe because of the car dealership, maybe because of the connection to the PPP and possibly the DPP, they have now decided that they're going to railroad the family with no justice at all. And so after the file has been sitting at the DPP chambers for so long, sitting at the DPP's chambers for so long, you know, so I don't know. And then suddenly the DPP is saying that they can't charge at the moment. And so they sent the file back to the police. Something is definitely fishy about this situation. It is fishy because it is obvious that the DPP doesn't want to charge. It is obvious that they are delaying this whole investigation. And we see this is a trademark of the DPP's chambers, where when they do not want to charge, they do all sorts of gymnastics with the file. The police took a long time to send the file to the DPP. The DPP took over a month, going on 2 months, before they sent the file back to the police. So you guys see the games that they play? You know, there's an oldies that goes on, the games people play. Games people play. The DPP is playing games. And it's about time some brave lawyer challenged the DPP and probably take the DPP to the Judicial Service Commission. It's about time, because nobody can get justice from the DPP. We already know that it's difficult to get justice from the police, who fabricate a lot of stuff. And again, we see these things every day. I hope this young man, his family gets justice. They deserve justice. But are they going to get justice? I doubt. Because when the police sends the file back, guess what? Some of these business people, they pay senior police officers to corrupt the system. And that is why people cannot get justice. And nothing can tell me that there isn't corruption here, that somebody has been paid off. And when the file goes back to the police, guess what? Other stuff is going to be missing and all sorts of things. And then the family gets no justice. because it's just a working class family. They may not have connection to the PPP or nobody high up in the PPP, and so they have to suffer. They lost their loved one, and they lost the opportunity of getting justice. Compliments of the corrupt PPP regime, and compliments of the DPP as well, and compliments of the corrupt investigators in the Guyana police force. Shame on what's happening there in Guyana. Shame on them. People cannot get justice. And so my heart goes out to the family members of this young man. That's Guyana. That's Guyana for you guys, right? But all the PPP is concerned about, every time they talk, it's all about money, 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 $1 billion. Qatari hotel. What's going on with that? Billions of dollars, right? Can't hear anything. Can't hear anything about Qatari hotel. 10 years sweetheart deal, tax-free. When ordinary Guyanese like Ronda Layne and lots of other people, whether they're in Mocha, they're in Linden, they're at Port Morant, they cannot get a piece of land. Some people got to wait 20 years. Y'all remember those days under the PPP regime? 20 years and you can't even get a piece, a little kunchi baby. This is what we used to say, kunchi baby piece of house lot. You can't get it. You got to go into Ministry of Housing. You got to kiss up somebody there. Well, Irfan Ali was Minister of Housing, right? You got to go there and kiss up somebody, or somebody talking to you like you're a dog or something like that, chasing people out their office. Now, we have been told a lot of horrible stories about how Irfan Ali treated people when he was the Minister of Housing. But others from outside of Guyana, from Qatar or wherever, they can go to Guyana and they get a large plot of land free of charge, took it away from the city. And guess what? They get 10 years tax-free. But Guyanese who born and grow there, raise up there, your navel string, bury there, you got to pay $3 million, $4 million a piece of house lot, $500,000 for a little piece of house lot, no drainage, no nothing, no infrastructure, nothing. But these guys from Qatar could go to Guyana and enjoying the sweetness. When an ordinary, a working class person, whether you're a nurse, whether you're a policeman, a policewoman, whatever you are, you have to go through hell for a piece of house lot. Do you know how many Guyanese right now in Guyana, hundreds upon hundreds of Guyanese cannot get access to a piece of land? And some of them who have their land, guess what? It's being bulldozed, it's being taken away from them, all because these covetous, these greedy people in the PPP want to take away the people's land and give it to their friends and their cronies. That is what's happening in Guyana. But yet some people say, oh, they want to sit down and they want to talk. They want to put on their bow ties and they want to talk little nice fancy language and believe that the oppressors are going to listen to them or like them. And meanwhile, look what is happening. Take a look at what is happening. People are suffering. Nobody cares. Rajan Bim, thank you. Nima Karam. No good. Katahar. That is what these folks in the PPP are. And look, going back to Ronda Layne. Let me play Ronda Layne for at least one more time, and I'll explain why I'm going to talk about Ronda Layne and the 7 others.
So if I got children, I must suffer them to take what I don't want to eat to myself. That is totally wrong.
What?
And the parents got to stand up.
Rhonda, really thank you for taking time out. I'm not going to let you go now. I know you're a very brave person. You're out there in front of GCOM. We're not seeing a lot of people out there, but give us an update on the protests every week in front of GCOM.
Tuesday we had 8 persons. Sexually.
One second, Rhonda. I kind of like, honestly, I like that laugh. I'm going to rephrase, I'm going to ask the question again. And
make me laugh, man. Oh, I tell you.
Rhonda, one second. One second, Rhonda. I'll ask you the question again. Rhonda, can you give us an update on the protest in front of GCOM?
Man, yes, 8 persons at the protest.
8 persons at the protest. 8 persons. Is that how we're going to get change in a country? Is that how we're going to have change in terms of the electoral laws and the operations at GCOM? Massive level accusations of corruption at GCOM? A bloated voters list with a voters list almost as equal the population. What is it? 750,000, and the voters list is almost 600,000. You know, it is padded, but yet nobody seems to care except those 8 persons who are out there every Tuesday. Every Tuesday they go out. Ronda Layne goes out there from across the river, then Amstel, and she goes there every single Tuesday. Nobody else has the time to go there. They don't really care. Some of them only talking about protest, that protest is important. If protest is so important for some of them, how come we don't see them there any longer? Why? Is it because the cameras are no longer there? And some people only believe in protest when the cameras are available? And then when the cameras are gone, that's it. You no longer want to be part of a protest. Anyways, kudos to Ronda Layne and her crew. Now back to this land situation. Irfan Ali can get all the land that he wants. He and his friends and his cronies and Jack Dale and all of them could get all the land that they want. Look, this is an example. He got land up there on this Linden-Soosdijk Highway, but the people at Lands and Surveys, they're not going to go and take away his land. They're going to go and take away poor people's land. Acres upon acres, they take away people's lands and give it to their friends and their cronies. These people in office are a bunch of bloodsuckers. That is who they are. That is why you guys have to vote them out. Vote them out next elections. The PPP is bad news for Guyana. The PPP is bad luck for Guyana. That's a fact. Now, let's move to the teachers. You guys saw, you heard what they are doing to the teachers, right? You guys heard that. Look, this is what they're doing. This is what they're doing to the teachers. The PPP doesn't care about teachers. They do not care about the working class people. They do not care about civil servants. They just do not care at all. At all. Now, look at this. Government files appeal in teachers' strike case. So they filed an appeal now. Instead of addressing the teachers' issues, they decided to appeal, to punish the teachers. Now, is this the kind of government you guys want? These people are a bunch of crosses on the nation, from Jack Deere to Irfan to Mark Phillips to Kwame, Priya Manik Chan. All these people are a bunch of crosses. They are a bunch of nimakarams and white mouters. That is what they are. Look, they filed an appeal for the insurance in the event that there's a spill, that Exxon will be held accountable. Jack Deere and Irfan, they do not want Exxon to pay a heck of a lot of money in terms of insurance. And so they jumped on the side of Exxon to protect Exxon against the Guyanese people. How unpatriotic these bastards in the PPP could be. Tell me, how unpatriotic can they be? Do you need more evidence, guys? Those of you who are sitting on the fence or want to put on your bow tie and talk nice and believe that they like you, do the maths. They do not like you. Do the maths. They do not like the teachers. They do not like Guyanese. They're all about the money. That is what they are about. And so this is a shame and disgrace. that a regime in office would work against its own citizens. Now, why would they file an appeal in such a matter? Why, guys? Can't you guys see that it is time that this corrupt PPP regime goes? Can't you guys see this? How much more evidence Jamal Aziz, Carl Miller, Wesley Ward, and Hazel Johnson and Bonita Parker, how much more can the people take? What more evidence do you guys need, Ms. Booker? What more evidence? Shame on the PPP regime. But then again, shame. There are a bunch of Katahars, Korhis, Nimakarams, Terekabur, Nanikachoror, Kaland, you know the rest, Rajin and others. Again, I don't know. The opposition got to get its act together. They got to get their act together. The PPP has already lost the elections. They have already lost the elections because of constant banging, mainly by you guys on social media, constant banging with a little help from the opposition. And mind you, the operative word, little help, little help from the opposition. The constant banging happened right here on social media. Constant banging. Constant banging. You know what they say? Pressure bust pipe. And that is what's happening to the PPP. You guys got to take credit as well, because those of you who are here every single night, y'all are on other shows as well. Y'all are talk show addicts in a good way, because y'all want the best for the country. And therefore, that is why you guys listen to these shows. You guys contribute with your comments. I'll repeat that. You guys contribute to these shows with your comments. Yes, and sometimes in other ways too. But had it not been for the constant banging away, and notice that it is affecting the PPP, that the butcher from Unity, Jack Deere, butcher from Unity, he goes at his so-called press conference and he says, he calls on his supporters, them, to go on social media. Well, they can't come around here unless there's a responsible and professional way in doing things. But some of them, trench crappers, when they come out, they could talk about is bare sexting. That's all they can talk about. But at least this is probably the only show many of them are not. They gone right in the trench, so they stay away. They listen, right? And they learn, right? All right. So you guys got to give yourselves a pat on the back. Good job. Y'all have the stamina. Y'all are on many shows. And I call on you guys to go and watch the other shows. You got David Hines, you got Kadaki, you got Shara Duncan, and you have Wayne Caesar. He has a show on Saturdays. Lemon sent him the link for him to join us tonight. And I don't want y'all to ask me, where's Wayne Caesar? Don't ask me about anybody, right? Wayne decided that he ain't coming out with us tonight. So got TT dinner. He ain't coming on tomorrow. He ain't coming on Friday. He's going to be on his show. Over to you. Let's notice that he's in the audience there. Good night to Wayne. But and Paul Slow too. Paul Slow as well. They have a lot of effective talk shows on social media. So let me see here. I'll check some of your comments. You want to talk about Sexton Lal? Dharam Lal's case, I don't know. A lot of people are quiet. They're very quiet, and suspiciously so. They are quiet about the Dharam Lal's issue. The Dharam Lal's issue is going to be it's heading in a direction. You guys know where it's heading. You guys know what's going to happen. And right, you guys already know what's going to happen. They're in the kitchen making roti out of it. That's what they're doing. This is what they're doing with Dharam Lal's case right now. This is what they're doing.
If you don't want your because we're excited to see you here.
That, look, for some reason, some of these enablers in that video, they have annoying voices. Because we're excited to see you. What kind of stuff? Look, it's annoying. It makes me don't even want to eat roti ever again. As Emma would say, ever again. It's because we're excited to see you in the kitchen at Pam and Steve's bakery. Because we're excited to see you. We heard that you were coming. And then listen out for the other lady that I think is clear. She pushed her head there in the door. Oh, God. Oh, Chinese. I know, officer, but it's annoying. It's annoying. Listen, guys.
If you don't want your because we're excited to see you here. Hold on. You got the roti? You got to be kidding me. You got the roti, don't worry. You used to make roti when he was 5. But let me see if you can clap. You got shake now. You got shake. Shake it in. This is the all right.
This is the modern way.
Okay. Look, sweetheart, this is it. All right. Let's see how you shake it. Pam and Steve roti, the best roti in Brooklyn. Hey, not so. This is the way.
I am shake roti like that.
All right, this is the way. Shake it like that. Shake it. Watch. Shake it. Wow.
That's how it's way. Push.
All right, so you gotta eat them because you let me see how if the quality improves.
Let me give you guys an example of some dunce tongues. Look, whoever this Nadia N is, I said that it makes me don't want to eat roti. Because when you see the condition of that kitchen and so forth, right? Look at this katahar. No need to hate the roti or the people making the roti. Where these dunce thugs just come from, man? Y'all help me. Where these dunce thugs just come from? Where? Don't they listen? Don't they understand? Can they comprehend? Where them things just come from, man? Don't they listen? So now, because I say the way that them people are shaking roti and they're making the roti, just like that now, no need to eat the roti. They're trying to say that, look, I grew up eating roti, sugar roti, all kind of roti. You can't make roti. Nobody out here could make roti more than me. Not even this one, Nadia. Not even Nadia can make roti more than me. Right now, if Nadia come in my basement, I'll make roti. Anyways, enough of the katahar, because they don't hear anything else. All they wait for here. Soon as you say roti, you can't say roti, you can't say dal. You can't say, because katahar like Nadia believe that there's only one ethnic group that eat roti and does eat dal. But you could say cook up. You could say boil and fried chana. You can say these sort of things, but the minute you say roti and dal, oh my mama, it's racist, right? Roti and dal. I'm going to leave whoever Nadia is, probably could be Lick Kwame, Ask him what is katahar. You don't know what is katahar? Go and ask Anil Nandalal. Go and ask Jack Dale. Go and ask that Korhi. You want to know what is Korhito? You want to know what is Chamar? You not want to know is Terika Board Nanika Chodor Kalandike? You want to know all of that? You want to know Lungira? All you want to know? Go and ask them. Go and ask them. Katahar. All right. So what else can we talk about? Because the trench crop who's going to come. There's a particular song that comes out. The freak comes out at night. Freak comes out at night. Nadia, good night. Whoever you are, right? All right. What else is it that we can talk about? Tell me. What else? Beatrice, what else you want to talk about? Miss Booker? Um, we can't let me see here. I'm trying to we're not hearing much about Venezuela, right? But the Venezuelan soldiers are right there at the border. We're gonna hear something when Venezuelan side decides to bust some shots on the side of Guyana. Then we're gonna hear something or someone of Venezuela plane just fly over into Guyana side, even though it's happening. But the corrupt PPP regime, the Qatars and the Corhis in the PPP regime, and the Nimakarams in the PPP regime, they do not want to tell you guys the truth as to what is happening at the border and what the Venezuelans are doing there. They just do not want to tell you guys at all. You know, when the Emmanuel is asking, what about the soldiers that died? They don't care about the soldiers. They got political mileage, the PPP that is, just like they got political mileage for the political mileage, sorry, from the 20 young people that passed away. 20 young people. 20 young people that passed away. They just got their political mileage and that's it. PPP. That's all they're concerned about. And so those soldiers, they rushed as quickly as possible. They named, what is it? Heroes Highway. They named a portion of some engineering section at UG after one of the retired military officer. And that's all. They got the cameras, lights, cameras, action, and that's it. Then they told you some promise that the black box of the helicopter, they sent it to the US. Have you guys heard back anything about that? Do you guys even know what's going on? That they don't want to tell you what they heard in that black box. You can't tell me that it was so badly damaged that they can't hear the voices and what really transpired. You can't tell me that. The truth is they want to cover it up. They want to hide it from you guys. And every single thing they're doing to hide the truth from the Guyanese people. Just like they covered up exactly what happened to those 20 young people, and they rushed to charge a 14 or a 15-year-old girl to divert attention. That's all they wanted to do. They don't concern about anything. And then they held commission of inquiry, spent hundreds of millions of dollars, give it to their friends and their cronies in order for them to steer the attention away from what actually transpired. And they blame those poor little firefighters who had to rush there to do all those sort of things that they have done. All right, so shame on the PPP regime. Shame on them. So John Jones is saying investigation. Will be swept under the rug. No investigation. It's already gone. It's already gone. Now Cheryl Pancham is accusing me that I have the black box. Yeah, I have the black box. In fact, they're right here. Well, this is a brown box, right? Yeah. All sorts of things they accuse. No, I have the black box. I know she's just being a bit jovial there. What else you guys need for us to discuss? I know something just passed through my mind that we should discuss, but we're not going to discuss that now. What do you guys think of the Dharam Lal situation? It's gone quiet. We're not hearing anything. Jagdev is quiet on it. Irfan Ali is quiet. Priya Manikchan is quiet. We know Priya Manikchan wants him to go to jail because the two of them are at war, right? We know Priya Manikchan would love for Dharam Lal to go to jail, but Priya doesn't have the guts. And I really do mean it. Priya doesn't have the guts. Figure of speech. But in actuality, we already know what's happening. But I'll say this. Priya Manikchan doesn't have the guts to come out publicly and say that she wants Dharam Lal to go to jail. She doesn't have the guts to say that. And so all of them are quiet. Some of the so-called NGOs are quiet. Some of those who have a voice for almost everything, they are also quiet on the issue. And the question is why? Why? Why are they so quiet? Bantu King is saying here concerning the black box and the helicopter so called crash. Bantu King is saying that he personally thinks that the chopper was a setup to remove any opposition to Khan and the PPP. Well, Khan is the guy who is there now as the chief of defense. The chief of defense. The chief of defense. So Jennifer Krushank is saying here now, Mark, can you say where are the surviving children being schooled? Has the government put a system? No, the government hasn't done anything. Nothing at all. The government left them, Priya Manikchand, Jagdeo, and all those pakus in the PPP, all those pakus in the PPP left the relatives of these people hanging dry. And the surviving students left them on their own. There's no counseling, there's nothing. And all that the PPP said was just basically they said it because the cameras were there and they wanted this camera action kind of movement. And so they do not care about the surviving students. They just don't, and that's the reality. What else is happening that you want us to talk about before we pull the curtains down? Because it's that time. Rajan said, watch guts. Oh, Rajan talking about Priya Manikchand there. But I'm not going to get there. I'm not in the business of guts shaming anybody. I am just not in the business of doing that. So nobody going to try to set a trap for me about no guts shaming of anybody. But what else you guys want to discuss before we go? I'm not guts shaming anybody. Please, guys, do not try to set a trap for me. I'm not guts shaming anybody. Rajin setting me up there. I'm not guts shaming anybody. Jionarang Gokul is saying the two survivors, like they're quiet. Of course, they're quiet because the PPP doesn't want them to say anything. And there is a big cover up with that helicopter, quote unquote, crash. Big cover up. Big cover up. Huge cover up. And the PPP is basically, they're lying to the people. Lying to the people. Before we go, not just yet, right? So a couple of senior officials of the PPP have gotten their U.S. visas revoked. A couple of them have gotten their U.S. visas revoked. Maybe at tomorrow's press conference, that question, maybe Jack Deere would want to spill the beans or comment on that since he sometimes it baffles me as to what I should be saying, but sometimes he has a cover for everything. At tomorrow's press conference, he should say who are those senior PPP officials who have gotten their visas revoked. I've noticed some of you guys saying call names, right? All right. Y'all call names, I can whistle. Let Jack Deere tell you guys, man. No, he likes to talk. He thinks he knows everything. He thinks he knows everything. Let him tell you guys who are the PPP officials that have gotten their U.S. visas revoked. And the other question that he should answer, why doesn't he visit the U.S. like he used to before? We're not seeing him in Queens. Definitely, he's not going to come to Brooklyn because he's not wanted in Brooklyn. And we're putting the enablers on notice again. We're putting the enablers on notice. Again, I'm going to repeat, we are putting the enablers on notice. The enablers in Brooklyn who took Irfan and all those guys to Brooklyn, we're putting them on notice that they dare not do that again. Dare not. And those out in Queens, in New Jersey, dare not do that again. Dare not. So let's see what Jack Deere is going to, whether he's going to admit also that he's under investigation for a bank account, in China that has billions of dollars, a couple billions of dollars. He has to answer that. He did attempt before by saying that there was an investigation being done by foreign law enforcement agencies, and they came up with nothing. But that's what he's telling you guys, that they came up with nothing. That may not be the truth. And you know he has this tendency of straying from the truth, right? That is why he sits there and lies and lies and lies at his press conference. So expect that tomorrow as well. But the country is losing a lot of businesses. Several big companies have decided that they're not going to do business in Guyana. Several companies, because of the high level of corruption, and some of these individuals, their names have been calling. Some of them receive bribes. Some of them compel people, businesses in the U.S. and so forth, to give a bribe and so forth. And their names have been calling. Some of them, as I've said earlier, their U.S. visas were actually revoked, and sooner. You guys may hear about that. But lots of things will come out of that. You're not hearing anything about the Marriott deal, other than the American business guy died, and so Jack Deere said the bid will go to the second highest bidder. We haven't heard anything about the Marriott deal. It's another form of corruption, because after Jack Deere found out who the second highest bidder is, they decided that they don't want to go along with that deal. And you'll hear some more about that Marriott hotel deal and the corruption about the selling of that hotel. And then Qatari Hotel is another stuff. I noticed somebody, maybe a trench crapper, who knows, is saying here, some Lutheran church. Where these Lutheran church coming from? But Mark, you're something like Trump. Lots of conspiracies. Now, how could there be conspiracies when the evidence facing y'all right in y'all face? Right? Officials of the PPP regime have had their visas revoked. That's all I'm saying. That's all. I'm giving you guys a hint. That's all I'm saying. I have nothing further to say on that. There are businesses that have pulled out of Guyana because of corruption. Where is the conspiracy? And Trinity Lutheran Church, you need to stay right there in Trinity Lutheran Church. You don't, as a pastor, or just the person probably walk around with a collection basket. So, all right. So what else it is? Anything else before we go tonight? Because I've got to go. Lemon is signaling me he's back on the job, maybe for another week or so. But there's one other thing I wanted to bring to your attention, other than to keep the boycott going in Brooklyn. Walk away from those places. Do not spend your money. Do not go in and buy that kind of roti. Go some other place and buy your roti. Eat your roti. Enjoy your roti. And enjoy your roti. And that's it. So, yep. So, the trench crappers, they don't last long here. So they're gone. And so Sri Nandalal is saying boycotting was one of the most effective grassroots movements against the racist apartheid regime in South Africa. So true, Sri. So true. Joylyn Cutting is now joining and saying that she's late. Well, you're late. You're late. We're now wrapping up. We're getting out of here. And again, I just want to thank you guys so much, as always. Tomorrow morning, you tune into Kadaki, and then there's David Hines in the afternoon, and then there's Sherrod Duncan And then I'll be back tomorrow night. And then Wayne Caesar's on Saturday, 7 o'clock. He has the hottest show in the weekend. I don't know how David Hines is on at the same time with Wayne. We got to have a talk with David about that. But Dr. Hines. All right, I'm out of here. Let's hear if tomorrow we'll get some word on this Dharmlal issue. I don't know what's going on with the folks over in Success. It's a shame and disgrace about this corrupt PPP regime. I'm out of here, guys. Be back tomorrow, same place, same time. God bless you. See y'all soon, right? And have a good rest of the night. So long.
Yeah, my name is Jacinti Caldata, Francis Vietnam, and since 1965, I become a voter. And I always place my X next to the cup. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data. I have none.
Are we going to do a body man walk right now? You ready? Box, let me go now. Hear me sing now. Body walk, body walk, body walk, everything. Body walk, truck, body walk, body walk, body. Right across Ghana, when the ministers of Granger or Nagamutu come here after the 21st of March, you say to them, walk behind them, chase them out there.
If you don't want because we're excited to see you here. We're coming. Hold on. You got the roti? You got to be kidding me. You got the roti, don't worry. Oh, Lord. You used to make roti when he was 5. But let me see if you can clap. You're not shake now. You're not shake. Shake. Shake the thing. This is the all right. This is
take responsibility. Yep. We want you to look out for us. We do not want no segregation. No. We are one people. And if we're going to do it, let's do it together. Because we have respect for you.